Welcome to my Isle of Wight. We're in a field in Shorewell for the memorial ploughing match. What the heck are we doing here? I've got my gear on, clubber, country squire look. We've got horses behind, pulling ploughs. And beyond that, we've got the tractors as well. This is an important part of country life as the other bits we've covered as well. And this is about really preparing the earth for laying the seeds. But it's detailed and complex as you might think. So let's go and find out more about it. And you've seen this tractor over here, look, the little going on the rides with the kids on the back of the on the trailer. Just to show how popular it is. I mean, look at this, amazing. The car park when we got here early on, well, I was the first car. But now it's really filling up. It's a constant stream of cars coming over here. It's absolutely packed. It's surprising how popular it is. We've got the tractors lined up here, like gladiators ready to do battle. We're going to try and catch up with one of them, have a chat and see the intricacies of ploughing with a tractor. Ralph, hello, I'm Simon.
Hello, Simon.
Can you give us an introduction on what the plough itself is about, the bits of it?
Yeah.
Point stuff out to us on the actual plough.
Yes. Well, here you see you have the shear, which is the bit.
That's the whale bit, is it?
No, this one here.
Okay.
That penetrates the ground.
Yeah.
That's the bit that takes most of the wear, which is easily replaceable.
Right.
There's a couple of spares here, you see,
Yeah.
to go on.
So that's a removable front section?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes. And this is the mold board, which makes the furrow. It turns the soil upside down.
Okay.
You know, when you see the disc is a job for you to see, but the disc in front just cuts the grain so that you get a nice clean furrow.
Okay.
And you leave a nice, you'll see later on, you get
Okay.
a nice clean furrow. That's basically it, and the carrying wheels, they just control the depth.
Okay. I was reading the brochure and it said that in a day you'd probably get an acre done with a horse.
Yes.
Whereas now
yes.
it's sort of you get 4 or 5 acres done.
Well, that's right. You
in an
see,
hour.
the horse and horseman would start early in the morning, and he would plough an acre, and he'd walk 11 miles. You see, approximately. So the horses were tired out by 1 o'clock at the dinner time. You see, so that's all they could do in the day. You see, where of course the tractor would carry on. You see, of course, when the First World War came along, they lost all the ploughmen. Because we lost
right.
hundreds of thousands of people in the First World War.
Right.
They were all farm workers, you see.
So that skill of controlling the horses as well as
they
the
didn't
plough
have
was
the men,
lost.
you see, so then they had to find a replacement to cultivate the land to feed the people, didn't they? Yes.
I didn't realise that link with the loss of people in the First World War. That's really interesting.
Well, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands we lost, but a lot, you see, didn't we? You see, and they were all, you know, factory workers and farm labourers, you see, weren't they? So.
And how long have you been ploughing yourself?
About 40 years.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So you got quite good at it by now.
Well, I have my days.
And is this one of your days?
I don't know.
You feeling good today?
Just how the luck is. Isn't
Yeah.
it, you know? I don't take it too seriously. You come for it's a lovely day out for a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And talk to you and all these other people, you know.
Just the number of public that are here. It's just extraordinary, isn't it?
Well, it's just the right day for it. Isn't
Yeah.
it? You know,
Yeah.
walk the dog and have a look at some silly buggers on tractors, you know.
Well, look, thanks a lot for your time. I appreciate that. Very great detail as well.
See you later.
Thanks for that. Best of luck in the competition.
Right.
Cheers. I met the guy earlier called Jumbo. He's an absolute expert on these horses. He's a total enthusiast in the horses side. He's going to be fantastic. Give us an introduction on which horses we got here, what the process of the ploughing is as well. He's just over here by these greys over here.
All right, fine, they're lovely. How are you, all right?
Yeah. So can you talk us through what now just show my level of ignorance.
Yeah.
All the bits of the trapping here.
Yeah, of course I can. Well, the most important part, I'll swap sides so you can see what we're talking about. The collar, the most important part, because everything that the horse does is transmitted through the collar. What heavy horses don't do, which a lot of people think they do, is to pull ploughs or pull vehicles. They don't, they push them. Because the horse's effort is transmitted through the collar goes onto the shoulder, They push that collar, and yes, it's connected through everything here, but the horse's actual effort is a push. It's pushing into that collar, it's walking into the collar.
Yeah.
So if your collar doesn't fit, you've got major problems.
Right.
So that's the most important
And
part of the
what is
harness.
this? Is this muscle or bone underneath it?
There's the shoulder muscle here.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there is,
like-
yes,
like a
because the
human
skeleton does,
equivalent of-
it's exactly the same as a rucksack.
Okay.
If you've got a rucksack that's too wide and it hangs and drops off, it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Can I ask you about the horse brasses as well?
Yeah.
I know my grandfather in particular was a big collector of them. What's the history? Is there sort of medals showing?
Well, the early horse brasses were the stars, the sun, the moon. They were sort of weather orientated, or the sheaves would pick the harvest time and things like that. Horse brasses are still being minted today, and they're minted today for special events. And they also give these brasses to people who they think have done special work in the decoration of a harness. This 2000 one is a
medals these days.
yeah. This is an award one
okay.
for 2000. And then you come on back. Your reins are here. Obviously fixed to the horse. Come back to this. These are the handles or the sticks, as they're called.
And you've got a spanner ready for
Spanner,
any adjustments you might
yeah.
need. Right.
That's
okay.
right.
Right.
And then the important part, Randy, have you got a second? If you come back this far,
Nice to meet you.
I mean, it seems like we watched a little bit of it, and there's so much to consider. You got the horses, obviously, got their own thinking. You sort of guide them
it's
through
a
that as
well-tuned
well.
instrument when we get going, I tell you. Oh, yeah.
But there's that, and there's all these adjustments, and
Yes, there is. They always reckon this is the finest implement ever built, the plough.
from the purity of what it does.
Well, because its simplicity and its effectiveness.
Right.
It has fed generations for thousands of years.
Yeah.
And it's not changed. But in principle, even the new big Cleveland ploughs up here, they're the same as they were using in the Iron Age pretty well, but improved slightly. But the principle
Right.
of
So
how it
that's
cuts and turns,
a mechanised horse in front of that
how
one.
it cuts and turns, the plough is one of the most perfect implement ever sort of made.
Wow. Well, look, thanks a lot for that. Much appreciated.
You're very welcome.
Good luck
Enjoy
in the
your day,
competition.
yeah.
Thanks a lot. for that,
okay,
Jumbo.
cheers.
Brilliant.
Nice to
Cheers.
see you.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Bye then.
That was fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. There's so much of this stuff you've got no idea about. You know, it's even if you happen to live in the countryside, you've got no idea about the history of this stuff. Fantastic. Really good. Let's go and find out some more. These things you never, ever, ever consider when you think about, well, certainly when you think about food these days, you never think about the sheer advancement in technology that's gone through. So we've been lucky enough to grab some time with Karen. Karen is the organiser. We spoke early on, and obviously caught up right in the middle of it. But what an amazing success this is.
I just can't believe it. It's grown so much since we started it in 2009. It's just unbelievable.
It must be a generation. I was saying before, my grandpa loved the big horses, the heavy horses.
I don't think there's many that don't.
Yeah, I mean-
if you look at the crowds today,
Huge.
it's just, and they're all here just for the horses.
Yeah.
There's a few there for the tractors, but most of them
Yeah.
are here to see the horses today, and it's fantastic.
Just the sheer muscle, the power behind the horse is extraordinary, isn't it?
Oh, they're amazing animals,
Yeah.
but so gentle with it. They are. How can you not love them?
Walking around the site, because it is so wide, you don't feel like it's loads
No.
of people here. It's oppressive. I mean, there's a great crowd of people here socialising,
Yeah.
having the food.
Well, I'm trying to maintain to the roots that I do not charge to come. It's all donations the whole way through. Everything is donations, and I want it to be a family day out. You can bring a picnic. You don't have to buy anything. I don't want people to feel all the time people being asked for money.
That's really
and
nice.
I think
yeah.
that is what makes the atmosphere. It's just an old-fashioned atmosphere for a day out, isn't it? And of course, the weather's helped rather
Yeah,
a lot.
it's been good to us this year, hasn't it?
But it's that connection with the soil, isn't it?
As well, yeah.
I still love it, and as soon as that earth is turned over, the smell of it,
Right.
there's something about it is
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
Goes back a few centuries,
What's
doesn't
interesting
it?
is that idea whether it's hardwired in your head.
Yeah,
That sort of the reaction
yeah.
to that. Yeah.
I just love it. I suppose it's in my blood. We've got plenty of farmers in the family, so it's just there. But
Good stuff. Well, thanks a lot for your time.
thank you.
Appreciate that. Thanks.
Right.
Well done on a brilliant event as well. It's the end of the day. It's been fascinating insight. All these things have turned out to be far more interesting than I ever thought they were going to be. I mean, in my sheer ignorance, I just thought ploughing was ploughing, but there's clearly so much to it. and all for a good reason as well. I mean, this stuff is about growing food, and people are becoming more and more conscious, more interested in how their food comes about. Coming along to this ploughing match, the memorial one on today, really gives you an insight that you're not going to get ever anywhere unless you chat to the people who are doing it. You see them turning over the earth, you see the machines going up and down. They're totally open and friendly here. It's been really lovely, very welcoming environment. There's all sorts of stuff here. I mean, there's the old machinery, there's tractors going back to 1920, was one of the earliest ones we've seen today. There's all the way up to the more modern ones as well. There's, of course, there's the horses, those heavy horses, and the technique of hand ploughing. In a time where people feel more and more disconnected from the production of their food, coming along to an event like this and maintaining the traditions, keeping people aware of how stuff used to be done and perhaps how it might have to return in the future, even if you're going to do it on a small scale yourself. These traditions are important. You can come along to an event like this and find out all about it.